Alright, so what we're looking at here is the 10 kilogram junior weightlifting bar from Strength Shop. Now, because it's a weightlifting bar, that means it's designed to do clean and jerk and snatch for kids, and that they say it's rated up to 85 kilograms. So that means it's designed to be dropped from a relatively moderate height, assuming you have the right plates and the right platform. And it's full size, as you can see, so it fits in a rack just like any other bar, but it's slimmer, so that facilitates the hook grip on smaller hands. It's 25 millimeters thick, which makes it the same as a lady's weightlifting bar. So here it is next to a full-size hybrid weightlifting bar by Again Faster, which is going to be my main point of comparison for this review. Obviously I don't have any other kids bars. So this is the 25mm bar that you can see here, and next to it is the standard 28mm men's bar. So you can see the sort of size differences here. You can see that they're the same length, so they'll both fit in the rack just fine. This weightlifting bar is of course 20 kilograms, whereas the kids bar is just 10 kilograms. So that's very helpful. Now, I got this bar not for weightlifting, but for doing deadlifts, press, rows and squats for my mother. Now, Strength Shop do actually sell a 5 kilogram aluminium bar for slightly cheaper, but I thought we'd get a bit more use out of the kids bar, and I've heard about aluminium bars snapping if they're ever dropped, so I thought we'd stick with this one. So it's only ever been used with Strength Shop equipment, and it's never been dropped, which is something that I'm going to come back to. Now here we have it from a frontal shot. So if we're going to start talking about the knurling here, we can see that the centre knurling gap is not the same as the standard bar, and you can also see that the outer knurling marks here also aren't the same. So here we have both the powerlifting bars, powerlifting knurling and the weightlifting knurling marks. This one's about 85 centimeters, that's about 95 centimeters. So it's quite an interesting choice to have these not being the standard measurements for either, but of course that makes sense because a kid will never have their grip so close that they're on the inside of the knurling, and of course their snatch grip is also going to be relatively closer, so they've got two useful markings there. So it's up to you as to whether or not you think that's a good thing or not. So continuing on with the knurling, here we have the kids bar we're talking about. Here's our Again Faster bar, and here's my powerlifting bar, which is the Strength Shop Bastard Power Bar. Alright, so generally knurling in my experience comes in two different styles. You've got sort of the fine, needly, sandpapery knurling of an Alico or a Pedley, the weightlifting bars, and then you've got sort of the deep, almost cheese gratery knurling of the Texas Power Bar, some of them, and definitely this bar, the Strength Shop Bastard Power Bar. Very deep, very aggressive knurling, but not very fine. Now, this bar doesn't really have either of those. It's got a very shallow knurl, but it's also not very dense, very infrequent notching. Now it's obviously plated. You see this isn't its original colour, and it seems to me that that was a bit of a waste of money, because it could have just been a bare steel bar and that would have made the knurling a little bit deeper, a little bit grippier. I think it could stand to be a bit grippier than it is, but you know, maybe their reasoning is that kids' hands, you need to be a bit more gentle on them. I don't know, that's up to you. I think it could do with a bit more. So with a typical weightlifting bar, you're going to want a really good smooth spin on it, and that's so that it dissipates the torque as you turn over on the clean of the snatch, and that takes that torque off your wrists, which is very important if you want to keep doing it. So we can see here on this Again Faster, you know, pretty smooth spin. It's still a budget bar, you know, it's a hybrid bar, it costs £200, and another thing we want to look at is the amount of play. Okay, so there's maybe a millimetre of up-down play. You probably can't even see that moving. In, out, another millimetre at best. You know, so that's a very nice sleeve. I like that. Alright, now on the other hand, if we take a look at this bar, which is a dedicated weightlifting bar, it's not that nice. That's not a smooth roller. It's not rolling far, and the roll is a bit messy. And a lot of this is down to the amount of play in the sleeve. So we're talking more 3 millimeters in out here and possibly even more worrying, 2 or 3 again, up and down. My main gripe with this bar we're going to take a look at now is the fact that this is quite clearly warped. That might not seem like much, but you're going to really feel that if you're using it for weightlifting. And that small amount of warp that we're getting from this sleeve is really exaggerated when you also take into account the overall messiness of the spin, the spare movement in, out and up and down. I would no longer use this bar for weightlifting. So as I mentioned earlier, the spin and the smooth spin is important for it to turn over and take the torque off your wrists. This can't be done with a wonky bar as we have down here. So this is no longer suitable for weightlifting, and that's a really pertinent point, because they claim that this can be used to up to 85 kilograms for weightlifting. Now this has not been used for any more than 60 kilograms, and that was just for deadlifts. It was put down relatively gingerly, not dropped. So I did in fact summarise this on a review for this bar on the Strength Shop site, and after a month or so, when it still hadn't been hosted, I sent them an email asking why they hadn't put my review up. It was very politely worded, though obviously quite negative. And this is the reply I got, suggesting that they didn't put up all reviews, although exactly what it was that dictates what makes them decide not to put a review up was not stated. So I found that very suspicious. Alright? So in summary, don't buy this bar. It seems to me that Strength Shop has tried to do too much too cheaply, and it's just not fit for the purpose it's designed for. I've tried to create a comprehensive review in case they improve it in the future, or you still feel like it meets your needs, because I can't find one anywhere else. And I don't know how many lightweight bars there are available in the UK, so it seems to me that the Strength Shop have a captive audience in this case. But maybe the 5 kilogram bar may be more appropriate for whatever you need it, but I don't think this bar is fit for purpose, and I don't think you should buy it.